Have you ever wondered why some societies embrace what others fear? How one culture's taboo is another's tradition? Well, gather around, because what I discovered about transgender acceptance in Thailand versus Britain might just turn your worldview on its head. Moreover, trust me, as someone who has spent decades being confused by cultural norms, this one is a proper revelation. Hello and welcome. Today I am diving into a topic that has half of Britain clutching their pearls and the other half waving rainbow flags. Transgender identity. However, with a twist. I am comparing how transgender people are treated in your oh so proper United Kingdom versus Thailand, where I live, and how things are, well, rather different. Now, before you type furious comments, yes, I have done my homework. No, I do not claim to be an expert. Still, yes, I expect at least 3 people to tell me I have it all wrong anyway. Is that not the circle of a YouTube creator's life? Right then, let us get on with it before my tea gets cold. Thailand's third gender history. In Thailand, transgender people, particularly those born male, who express feminine identities, have been visible for centuries. They are commonly known as katois, often simplistically translated as ladyboys in Western media, which is about as culturally sensitive as calling fish and chips greasy potato sticks with dead sea creatures. Nevertheless, ladyboys is what many katois proudly call themselves in Thailand. Thailand's relationship with gender diversity is rooted deeply in Buddhist beliefs, which, unlike certain Western religions I could mention, that seem to think their deity spends an inordinate amount of time worrying about people's genitals, takes a more logical view of human existence. Buddhism suggests we have all lived many lives, sometimes as men, sometimes as women. Being transgender might simply mean your soul remembers its previous gender. Rather poetic, do you not think? Imagine that, a spiritual framework that actually accommodates human diversity instead of condemning it. Revolutionary concept, huh? Now, this does not mean Thailand is some transgender utopia. Far from it. Katois face significant discrimination in employment, legal rights and family acceptance. Nonetheless, and it is a significant but, they are visibly integrated into society in ways that would make the average British Conservative or Liberal politician develop a nervous tic. You will find transgender people working in shops, restaurants, entertainment and increasingly in professional sectors. The annual Miss Tiffany's Universe pageant celebrates transgender beauty and broadcasts nationally. Can you imagine the Daily Mail headlines if the BBC decided to air a transgender beauty pageant at 8 PM on a rather cold Saturday night? I suspect spontaneous combustion might occur in certain living rooms across the home counties. The British perspective. Meanwhile, in Britain, our relationship with transgender identity has been, well, complicated to put it mildly. Brits do love our traditions, don't we? Cricket, queuing politely and getting thoroughly uncomfortable when discussing anything related to gender or sexuality. For centuries, gender non-conformity was either criminalised or medicalised. The Victorians, those masters of repression who covered table legs lest they appear too provocative, set the tone for much of our modern discomfort. Do not talk about it and maybe it will go away seemed to be the prevailing philosophy. Spoiler alert, it did not. The Gender Recognition Act of 2004 marked a significant shift, allowing people to legally change their gender. However, the process was and remains about as straightforward as trying to claim a refund from Ryanair. medical diagnosis, 2 years of living in your acquired gender, whatever that means, and a panel of strangers judging whether you are trans enough. How very British, creating a right but then wrapping it in so much red tape that exercising it becomes an Olympic sport. Recent years have seen transgender rights become increasingly politicised, with the debate often generating more heat than light. One side claims protecting transgender rights will lead to the collapse of civilization as we know it. The other suggests questioning any aspect of transgender advocacy makes you literally Hitler. Meanwhile, actual transgender people are caught in the middle, just trying to live their lives without becoming the subject of yet another venomous newspaper column. It is remarkable how we manage to turn people's existence into political football, is it not? Nothing says healthy democracy quite like debating whether someone's identity is valid or not. Cultural influences and representations. In Thailand, transgender people have achieved significant visibility in entertainment and media. Films like Iron Ladies, based on a real transgender volleyball team, became national hits. Transgender celebrities appear regularly on television. They are popular transgender singers, actors, models, and even flight attendants with a dedicated airline. In the UK, positive representation has increased, but often with an asterisk attached. When a transgender character appeals in a British drama, you can bet your last pound that the storyline would involve trauma, rejection, or serving as a walk-in educational moment for the cisgender protagonist. Now, how tolerant I have become after meeting this transgender person who has helpfully explained their entire existence to me. Riveting stuff. The language around transgender identity differs markedly too. Thailand has multiple cultural specific terms for gender diversity. In Britain, they are still arguing about pronouns, as if civilization might collapse if someone prefers they to him. I have witnessed grown adults have complete meltdowns over this, the same adults who happily adjust when Prince became a symbol and when Snickers was marathon. Apparently some changes are just a bridge too far. Legal recognition and rights. Thailand's legal framework requires transgender rights remain limited. While there is social acceptance, I believe legal gender recognition does not exist. Transgender people cannot change their gender markers on official documents. This creates a paradoxical situation where someone may be socially recognised as one gender, but legally bound to another. The UK, for all its social discomfort, has established legal frameworks for gender recognition, healthcare access and discrimination protections. On paper at least, the UK appears more progressive. However, laws and lived experience are different beasts entirely, are they not? A transgender person in Thailand might face legal obstacles but find community acceptance. A transgender person in Britain might have the theoretically legal protections but face daily social hostility. It is a bit like having a sophisticated umbrella during a tsunami, technically helpful but missing the larger point. Healthcare approaches. Thailand has become a global centre for gender-affirming surgeries, with medical tourism bringing people from around the world. The Thai surgical techniques, often considered amongst the best, and costs are sufficiently lower than in Western countries. The UK's national health system offers transgender healthcare, but waiting lists stretch to years, sometimes exceeding half a decade for initial appointment. Is it the healthcare equivalent of watching paint dry, except the paint is your life and well-being? Private healthcare is available for those who can afford it, creating a two-tier system where access to timely care depends on financial resources. Very democratic that. Therefore, What can we learn from this comparison? Perhaps that cultural acceptance with legal recognition is as incomplete as legal recognition without cultural acceptance. Nevertheless, both Thailand and Britain have lessons to learn from each other. Thailand demonstrates how cultural and religious frameworks can accommodate gender diversity without the sky falling. Britain shows how legal protections, however imperfectly implemented, establish important baselines for equality. However, ultimately, what both countries demonstrate is that transgender people exist, contribute to society, and deserve respect, regardless of cultural context. Revolutionary concept, I know. Moreover, if you are watching this feeling uncomfortable or challenged, good. This is how we grow, is it not? By questioning our assumptions. I started researching this video with my own set of British prejudices and emerged with a broader perspective. If this grumpy old man can learn new tricks, there is hope for everyone. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to prepare myself for the comments section. I expect everything from thoughtful discourse to people telling me I single-handedly destroyed Western civilization. All in a day's work on YouTube, is it not? If you have found this educational or even just entertaining enough to distract you from existential dread for 15 minutes, do hit that like button and subscribe. It is free. Leave a comment sharing your experiences or perspectives. Just try to be civil, or not. We can disagree without being disagreeable sometimes. On top of that, if you know someone who might benefit from a bit of cultural perspective, please share this video with them, or should it be he or she. Education is best when it has shared, rather like biscuits, though considerably less fattening. Until next time, I remind you that understanding different cultures might just make you a better human. However, that is entirely optional, of course. Take care and goodbye.